I could have the camera face the other way, and I just choose not to. These videos, they're not about me, they're about the message. And, I don't know. My problem is AI is able to uh, capture my voice and recreate my voice. And I make fake videos, and they can capture my look and my appearance, can make fake videos. So none of it's safe. I mean, with AI, nothing's safe. And so it is what it is. You just have to use your own discernment. And I know that's getting very difficult these days to do because we're really taken back when we learn something is AI and AI generated, and it disturbs us because we're second guessing our own instincts, our own beliefs, and they use old men and try to gain our sympathy and our trust because a lot of people trust old men, and they use them in commercials, and they're AI generated. They're not really an old man; it's just a computer. But they use the old man as a way of, or just as they use a pretty woman to sell beer and alcohol and all the other things, and gambling, and you know, uh, uh, it's very disheartening because with AI they don't have to pay an actor. Uh, they don't have to be subject to an actor and his schedule. And they you can't sue an actor, you can't sue an AI, but you can sue an actor and things like that. So legally, it opens different doors and closes others. And I think the legal system, especially with grifter Trump running everything, it's highly unlikely we're going to see laws that are going to curtail these things and protect us because he's not about protecting us. He's putting in a danger every day, and you know, uh, so he's not going to protect us, and our our elected officials aren't going to protect us either because AI is in their pocket, and the AI gives them more money than we do, and that's how that works. So, you know, I, I'm disturbed with all the Jews taking over New York. I love New York, and the Jews are destroying New York. You know, they're making their own neighborhoods. They're putting up synagogues wherever they want their neighborhoods. If you find a synagogue, then you know that the neighborhood around it is Jewish. And look, I know America's built on freedom of religion and all that, and I'm not saying they can't practice their religion, but they kick out everybody else who's not Jewish out of their neighborhoods, and that's not right, and that's that's not covered by the Constitution, and it's not good, and they send them to their own schools. They don't go to public school. Jews hate blacks. Blacks hate Jews, and Jews won't even hire blacks as maids or aides or anything else. They don't like doing that. Jews are very prejudiced people. If you go to Israel, it's all Jewish. There's no blacks in Israel, and the Palestinians are treated less than dogs. And so any hate they get, they deserve. And they bring it on themselves. That's all I'm saying is they bring it on themselves, and you know the Holocaust they're trying to prevent, they're only going to bring about. You know, all these camps that they hold immigrants in now today um, in this country for ICE uh, could very easily be converted into concentration camps for Jews, and I would love to see that. Um, and I'm not hateful and I'm not revengeful. But there's a time when you can't take it anymore, and you know, and they need they need to realize that they can't do what they're doing. They own the media, they own the newspapers, they own everything, and they control everything, and they have to because they know how evil they are, and they know that if they don't control those things, then they'll be crushed, and I think one day that owning those things won't protect them anymore like it does today, and they show their evil side, like with a Harvey Weinstein and how evil he was, and it's just when they get into power, they're not nice people, and they don't deserve the power they have. No matter how much money they have, the money doesn't mean anything. Uh, and I'm not saying evil is reserved just for Jews. It's not. Evil is everywhere. But uh, the Nazi Party is a Jewish party today, and so they're extra evil. I mean, a lot of people are evil, but the Jews are like extra evil. You know, and it just is what it is, and it needs to stop. And Netanyahu has blackmail material on Trump, and the pictures you've seen of Trump with girls and stuff, and Epstein and all that, those are nothing. The ones that you haven't seen are the ones that keep us in war with Iran and keep us doing what we're doing because Israel wants us to. He has some very damaging material on Trump, and you can believe that because Trump is a buffoon and would put himself in a position to have those pictures taken and think nothing of it. As you can tell by the pictures that have been released, that he put himself in those positions as well. So it's definitely believable that and I believe Putin has blackmail material on Trump as well. Um, Trump's been to Russia, and Putin sent his favorite girls to Trump and his favorite cameraman as well, and they took care of him, and you know, and it's just a shame that our whole country is crippled and destroyed because of one man's ego. But I think you can believe that when you talk about Trump. But it's just what goes around comes around. So I know Trump's going to get his, and the Republican Party's going to get theirs, and the Jews are going to get theirs as well. You know, and it's a matter of time, and I don't care. I mean, they don't affect me. Uh, they affect a lot of people though, and to a great extent, they deserve it. Like the people that voted for Trump deserve all the crap that Trump does and has done or will do, and you know, they deserve what they get. They check that box, and whatever selfish reasons they did it, and I would say they got a pass on the first term, but on the second term, there's no pass. You knew him, you knew what he was like, you knew what he was gonna do, and you can't say I didn't know. So, you know, and and you get what you deserve. Everybody in this life gets what they deserve. So, you know, and that's why I don't worry because karma is my best friend, and karma takes care of all my problems and takes care of all my enemies, and has in the past and will in the future. And there's really not much you can do about it. And one thing beautiful about karma is, it gets them in ways you can't imagine. It's just whatever. I can't fathom how karma's going to get you, but and you can't either. but I can promise you that karma will. And and it stretches to your family. It stretches to everybody. I mean, I think everybody in Trump's family is cursed, and karma's getting them all. Uh, you may not think so. Don't be blinded by the money. Uh, they're not happy. They might have money, but they're not happy. The rich people want you to think they're happy with money because they want you to keep working for money, and they want you to have the happiness they so illusionarily have. It's an illusion. They're not happy, and they want you to believe the lie that they believed and found out was a lie. But they don't want you to know it's a lie because then you'll stop working and you'll stop being their slave for money. And you know, I think that's the problem with like prostitutes. When the pimp gets them, he adorns them with fur coats and expensive clothes and stuff, and or gives them drugs, stuff that they want. And then when they get it, they find out what they have to do to keep getting it. Uh, it the importance just isn't there anymore. It's like who needs a fur coat? When I got to do that with him. And so it just loses its flavor. And it's good to own a nice car when you actually earned it and you didn't rob and steal people blind to get it. You know, because every time you ride in that car, you think of all the people you stole from and you cheated to get it. You know, whether you want to or not, but it's unavoidable, and you might uh, keep it out of your mind for a little while, but it always creeps up. That's karma. That's the way the karma gets you. Because it gets you in the head. Karma's inside you, and it gets you in that way with the guilt and and or when you have a nice car, you also have a nice size insurance payment, upkeep bills. More repairs on an expensive car are expensive. And you have to keep robbing. You have to keep stealing to pay those bills, and it puts you on a path of destruction. And you might think, "Oh, I got a nice car," but yeah, what you got to do to get it? What you have to do to get it? And I think a lot of people that have these things don't think about that.